Thank you for those beautiful words, Greg. Before I introduce our second speaker, we have a few VIPs in the audience here today supporting Norman. Actress Diane Kruger, actor Clifton Collins Jr., writer Scott Gimple. We also have a Chamber VIP in the audience, and that is our president and CEO of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, David Michael Jerome. We would also like to thank the Hollywood Toys and Costumes for their help today with today's ceremony. Our second speaker is a well-known actor. He has been in The Punisher, The Wolf of Wall Street, Sicario, Baby Driver, Ford versus Ferrari, among others. He is also the star of The American Gigolo. He also starred with Norman Reedus in The Walking Dead. Please welcome to the stage, Jon Bernthal.
Thank you for having me. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm super happy to be here. The first time that I ever laid eyes on my dear friend Norman Reedus, I was already a month into the zombie apocalypse. See, we'd already been in Georgia. We'd been battling the heat and the ticks and the chiggers and the spiders and the snakes. We'd been duking it out in the woods, and we all thought of ourselves as a bunch of Billy and Betty badasses by Daryl's first day. We didn't actually see him until we were on camera. He came lumbering into the frame out of those thick Georgia woods as if somehow he'd been there all along. He was covered with some crazy mixture of mud and blood and grime and a rope with hanging dead squirrels over his shoulder. He didn't say hello to us at first, and it wasn't off-putting or rude, it just was. It gave off both this quiet strength but also this wounded vulnerability. And that would go on to define one of the greatest characters in television history. See, after the scene, I decided to break the ice. We were supposed to do a scene after that, which was going to be a fight between me and Norman, so I walked over to him cautiously and I asked him how he wanted to block the scene. And Norman just looked at me and said, well, let's just fight and see what happens. And I loved him instantly. But it wasn't what he said, it was how he said it. There was no bravado. There's no fake machismo that plagues so many actors. There was a glimmer and a glint in his eye that showed both how grateful he was to be there and how seriously he took what he was doing. There was nothing fake or phony to my first meeting with Norman. And 12 years later, considering one of the people I love most on this planet, I have never seen him be boastful, never seen him be unkind or dishonest. In fact, I'd go as far to say that Norman is allergic to dishonesty. He's incapable of pretension. And it doesn't matter if it's on set or off set, traveling the country, meeting fans, or by our dear friend Scott Wilson in his final days, I have only seen Norman tell the truth. I've only seen him be kind. I have only seen him inspire joy. One of our friends, Stephen Yeun, says, Norman is the great truth teller. He keeps me honest. He keeps all people honest. I love him. See, I've never seen someone loved and adored by people the way Norman is. But honestly, I've never seen anyone loved the way that Norman loves. Our friend Sarah Wayne Callie, she says, Norman instinctively celebrates life and those around him with a devotion and abandon that are infectious. When you're around Norman, you don't just like him, you like yourself better. What a magical gift. To me, Norman's an artist in the truest sense of the word. There's always this whiff of mystery around him, this whiff of playfulness. Norman can both be menacing and completely approachable at the exact same time. Andy Lincoln said, Norm could have been many things in this life. An artist, a model, photographer, career criminal. He could even have been a tennis player. And Andy wants you to know that Norman trained with Andre Agassi, and he only quit because Andre had better hair. But thankfully, Andy says, Norman fell into acting. He believes he went to his first audition on either a drunken bet or to impress a girl. Norman's a 14-year-old romantic trapped in the body of an old-school rebel. A new wave punk with an eye for Basquiat, he's got the effortless cool of McQueen with the sense of humor of Kenny from South Park. To me, Norman is a rebel. He's a rebel in the truest sense of the word. And like most rebels, Norman has a deep sense of justice. My friend Norman has a way of calling out bullshit, and he knows on an atomic level what is right and what is wrong. Again, he is enormously kind and generous, but he's particularly that way to the outsider or to the underdog, because I believe maybe deep down that's where he's most comfortable. Andy says that in a world that seems more concerned with what you think than what you do, Norman very quietly does a lot and makes very little noise about it. Normie, you are completely singular. You walk through your life and your art with a uniqueness that totally sets you apart. To me, this is ultimately what being a star is all about. And there is without a doubt only one Norman Reedus. Beyond everything, for me, it's your eternal and undying love for your children and Diane that impressed me the most. This last act of yours, it's been the most beautiful, brother. I love you with my whole heart. You continue to inspire me as an artist and as a friend, as a father, as a husband, and I'm so honored that I get to be here with you today. And I know I speak for all of us here and so many around the world. We love you, Norm Nice. Congrats, man.